Hello, welcome back to episode 5 of Wafflin Around with your host, Tyler Sayuda, and co host, Chris Stamos.
How's it going, guys? Got some interesting topics on today's episode. Tyler, how about you get us started off with one you wanna really glance over?
So, we're going real hot right off the start here.
Ooh.
Uh, so, we're going straight to the PWHL, straight to the jailbreak goals. If you're not familiar with what the jailbreak goal is, essentially, if you score on the PK, you get to bring your player out of the box. So, I wanted to get your thoughts on that rule.
Um, I remember seeing a few posts about incorporating it in different levels, different tournaments and stuff and whatnot. And it had a lot of mixed feedback. Um, but my own take is it's kind of stupid, right? Like it's very rewarding. Like scoring on the PK is hard. It's very hard. But I don't think you should be rewarded for taking a penalty. If you get what I'm saying, you took a penalty, you got yourself into trouble. Now you bail yourself out by scoring a goal. No, no. You stay in the box. You stay in the box. You serve your 2 minutes, your 4 minutes, your 5, 10, 20, however it is. Serve it. You did it. It's your problem. It's a stone cold take right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one way to look at it, I guess. Um, the way I would look at it, it would be more along the lines of you're not getting rewarded, but you're punishing the other team for letting you score on the PK.
That is a
They
good way to look at it.
they didn't do their job. You come down 200 feet and you put the puck in their net while they have an extra guy on the ice.
That's
So you're
true.
you're punishing them by getting your guy back.
Basically a big old slap in the face, like you
Yeah,
suck.
right. And like,
I
what
mean,
were you doing?
I see it. I see it. I see it from that standpoint, but no, I think you should serve that full penalty. I mean, it's been that way for how long now? Why change it? Why switch it up? I mean, you're kind of taking away, like the NHL wants to improve goal scoring, but you're taking away goal scoring because you're taking away a power play, which could lead to a goal.
Well, but you're also like giving a reason to score goals on the penalty kill instead of just dumping the puck,
Very
right?
true. It
So
does
instead
promote a
of
little aggressive penalty killing. Yes, I could
right,
see that. But at the end of the day, I'm a big traditional guy. I say we keep it nice and traditional.
yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely an interesting rule, and I think that's something the PWHL will keep evaluating over time, see if that's really something they want to keep in the league or not.
I mean,
Uh,
I'm sure that'll definitely be talked about more, and they'll probably take a look at how it went this year and then maybe do it again and see how it goes that year. But yeah, that was a good hot take. I like that.
so Chris, what do you have for me now?
So we have some crazy goaltending stories in the playoffs this year. I know you're not too up to date with that stuff, but let me just kind of go over some of the things that have happened with at least goaltending in these playoffs. So Stuart Skinner, I believe he played 59 games this season, I believe, for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
Sat out yesterday because he's not been playing very good. Pretty bad, actually. To a goaltender that has never played an NHL playoff game before. Basically, a third string if you want to throw Jack Campbell back in the equation. Um, was literally in Bakersfield for the Condors all of last year, played for their playoffs, and stole the show with a 3-2 win. So that's one of the things. And then on the opposing end, we have I believe his last name is Shilvos. That's how they've been pronouncing it. It's pronounced Silvos. That's how it's spelled. I don't know how to say it. Sorry. Don't come at me. Um, basically an AHLer, rookie, played against Calvin Pickard last year in one of the rounds of the AHL Cup playoffs and had been stealing the show for the Canucks with like 40 plus save performances consistently. in the end of the first and beginning of the second round. So with that, I kind of want to bring up a question. Do you play these guys that have less experience when your starters are back and more than capable of playing again? So with Silvos, Demko's out and DeSmith has been backing him up. So that's their 1, 2, and then Silvos was 3. And then Stuart Skinner's 1 and uh Kelvin Pickard's number 2. So what are you doing if you're the head coach of either of those teams?
Yeah, that's always a tough question, right? Because I mean, obviously that third stringer is showing you that he's got the potential to play NHL minutes and succeed at that level. But
Right.
I mean, ultimately, you want a guy in there that the guys can rely on. So, I mean, maybe give your guy a game off. Like, let's say there's no injuries. You go with your one, you go with your two, you go with your one. You got to give that guy a break. You can't play 1-1-1-2. Like, I mean, you're just wearing them out. And that's ultimately where injuries are going to happen is when you're fatigued. So I think minimizing the or maximizing the rest, I should say, um, is really what you're looking for in these playoffs. So you got to make sure that you have guys that can consistently put up numbers and not have to worry about losing because there's certain guys in net.
Okay, I can see that. So I'm looking here, and Silvos has 185 saves in 7 games. 907 save percentage. Okay. But he's 4-3. So he's not doing half bad at all. And then you have the Smith who he replaced. Um, he went 1-1 with a 911 save percentage and a 202 goals against average. And then you have Demko, who played 1 game and he won it, but he got injured. 22 for 24, 917, 2 goals against average. um, yeah, I think that puts you in a really tough spot because Demko is expected to return, I think, game 4, game 5-ish, which is going into game number, I believe it's going into game number 5. So he should be returning any minute now. And then the Smith is healthy, but Silvos has been playing very good. So that leaves you at like this crossroad of what do I do? And honestly, if I'm Vancouver, I play Demko next game if he's healthy.
Well, that's the thing, though, right? Okay, yeah, he's healthy, but do you want to rush the recovery and potentially injure him again when he goes back in?
Um, I don't know what his injury was, so that could be a factor. Let's take a look into that real quick.
Yeah, because if I'm coaching, I want to make sure my guy is he's at 100% capacity to play. And I mean, obviously, there's no way to prevent injury, but you can minimize injury risk by essentially not playing him
Okay,
for another
so
game.
earlier today, Rick Tocchet said that he has improved immensely in last 72 hours. And then as recently as 2 hours ago, he took shots at practice. Um, as for his injury, could return to the Canucks very soon. So by game 6. So if they go to they're going to be in game 6. It's 2-2 series tie right now. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. That's interesting. But now Calvin Pickard, on the other hand, your backup goes in. I think he makes 16, 17 saves, 2 goals against, wins the game. Are you playing him again, or are you giving Stuart Skinner another game?
Well, so he got put in relief of Stuart Skinner, right?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
And that wasn't for an injury or anything.
No, that was just because he's been playing like shit.
So I probably am going to give that second string another game, especially just to give my first string some time to relax, like figure out what's going on, take some time. Um, if I have a third string goalie, I'm going to put him as the backup and have my second string play this. Uh, I mean, I want him to rest. I want him to be good, ready to go, but I also don't want to overuse him to the point where he's starting to play terrible. Like it's about rep management, right? Like obviously in the game you're going 110% every single rep, like every single shot. And I mean, honestly, that gets fatiguing sometimes. So you gotta take a break.
Definitely. Um, let's see, where's Stuart Skinner? There he is. Yeah, he's got an 877 with a 323 goals against average this playoffs. So not very good.
I mean, it is what it is.
I think he backs up and Pickard gets another game. Um, Now let's talk about good goaltending.
Hold on, real quick, before we get to the good goaltending. Jeremy,
Okay.
I did watch the Bruins game a little bit ago against Florida, and they lost 6-1. Jeremy Swayman gets pulled, right?
hmm
What are your thoughts on pulling a goalie after 4 goals in the playoffs?
I feel like that was a good move. He's been playing tremendously, as we can see here. 933 save percentage, 322 saves, which is the most saves by almost 50. Um, and he's got a 216 goals against. So pulling him after four lets him calm down because he's a professional, right? He's supposed to calm down, supposed to forget about it, and he's even more rested for the next game, which he did perform in. So I think that's all that was. I agree with the move there because, you have Olmark. He's a great goalie. He's been playing pretty good. I mean, stats don't show it, but he's a good goalie. You can go to Olmark. You can play him. And then Swayman's more than ready to go again. And
Well, it's
he's
like we were
proved it
talking
time and
about.
time again.
You got to have that second guy you can rely on too, right?
Right.
But the big question here for me is, do you wait till he gets 4 scored on him, or do you pull him after 3, or pull him earlier? Like,
Um,
what's your
that
decision
was a
there?
that was first period, right?
I believe so.
So Florida's on fire. What are you gonna do there? You know, um, I think four is a good number. If he lets up three, you keep him in. Three's decent, fine. But at four, it's a bit much. It's a lot of goals against in one period. I say you get him out of there.
I also think
So
that
he
shakes
played
up.
41 minutes when they lost 6-1.
Oh,
So
okay.
that would take him into the third,
Yeah, 2 in a minute.
which
Um,
I think that's to rest him for game game number 4, which they lost 6-2 in.
that's
So he
true.
didn't play very good. But he gets another chance in game 5. They only lose 3-2 and he makes 38 saves. It's a very good game. And then they win 2-1, 29, 28 saves. Playing great. So I don't know.
So another question to piggyback on that. Obviously, as a goalie, you're trying to keep the games competitive, right?
Right.
What would you say a non-competitive scoring game?
I think a 4-goal gap is a blowout to me.
Okay,
So 4-0, 5-1, 6-2, blowout.
4 goal difference. I got you.
Yeah, I mean, what are you thinking? 5 maybe?
I almost want to say like, well, it kind of depends, but like I think a 4-1 game. Obviously, that's a 3 goal differential, but I think a 4-1 game is a tough one to recover from because I mean the guys are a little rattled all
It's a
week.
hot take.
I mean, it kind of
Only
is.
4? Only 3 goals?
Well, in some instances, let me put it to you like that. Um,
So would
I
you rather lose 4-1 or would you rather lose like 9-6.
I think I'd rather lose 9-6, honestly.
Oh, oh my goodness.
I think a 9-6 game is more competitive than a 4-1 game. I mean, it's going back
What's
and forth, right?
competition? That's
It's
just
but
a gong
but
show.
well, yeah, but both teams are competing to put the puck in the net, right? It's who can put the puck in the net more.
I guess
So,
so.
I mean, at that point, it's like that's a competitive game. But if you're 4-1, it's like, I mean, you let in you let in 3 goals, you maybe scored one. It's close now, and then you just get the kick in the back, like on that fourth one. It's like, man, does not feel good.
I don't want to lose by anything more than 3 goals.
Oh no.
I don't want to let up anything more than three, but 9-6 is wild preference.
I just think a 9-6 game is competitive.
I mean, two
More
goalies
competitive.
are, I think both goalies are getting pulled.
Oh
You'd
yeah.
have four goalies play that game, I think.
Yeah.
So it's not looking good for us. Maybe the skaters.
Yeah,
But
I mean it's
I
pointing
mean,
at that point.
I've had some games where it's like high scoring back to back, and it doesn't feel good when you give up 6, 7, 8, 9 goals and you score 6, 7.
I mean,
Because you're
what
just
if
like,
you're
if I just stop the puck just a couple times, if I did mediocre today, we would have won. Like if I did mid, if I was just mediocre at best, and we would have won. Like I was
okay?
abysmal today.
So let's say it's like an 11-10 game. Like,
You
are you,
suck.
well, yeah, but are you happy that you won that game?
No, not at all.
So would you have rather lost that game then?
No. I mean,
No,
obviously I'm gonna want to win that game, right? But at the end of the
you're
day, I
just
gave up
not
10
happy you
goals.
played it.
Yeah, I gave up 10 goals.
You're
Like,
hoping it's like 11-1.
yes. Or
I
zero.
mean, that should always be the goal, right? But
I mean, a win's a win. At the end of the day, they don't ask how, they ask how many, but still.
right,
God, 11 goals against, 10 goals against. Haven't done that since Pee Wee's, man.
no.
And I hope I
Well,
never do it again.
just don't talk to the Metro Jets.
Hey.
Hey, that's a tough one. So a couple little interesting playoff tactics, right? We got the Boston Bruins, I believe, dumping and chasing. Little pass off the end boards straight to the winger, I believe. A
Yeah,
little
straight to pasta, forehand, backhand,
right in the net.
deals the
I mean,
series.
what do we think about the dump and chase in general?
I'm not a fan of it.
Not a fan,
Not a
huh?
fan of it. Like, we're
Obviously,
goalies, right? We're taught possession wins games. So when we
mhm.
play the puck for possession, you dump the puck. It's a 75-25 puck battle. The other team should get that puck. They are literally closer to where you're putting that puck than you are. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They you're basically saying, "Here. Here's your puck. Go chase it. I'm going to follow you."
And then I'm gonna hit you.
Right. When we
Hopefully before
look,
you pass the puck.
who was the prime example? I believe it was the Maple Leafs who got scored on by the dump and chase. I think it was the Maple Leafs. Don't quote me. But no, no, no. Avalanche. Avalanche, they don't dump the puck. Mm-mm. No. What they do is they'll curl, wait till their guys join, and make a bang bang play. And they scored, I think, 50% of their goals every game on a rush play. Where if they dumped it, they're not scoring those goals and they probably lose the series.
Yeah, I mean, one thing
Dump and chase is stupid.
yeah, I mean, puck possession definitely does win games. If you have the puck the whole game, you score one goal, they're not scoring because you have the puck. Plain and simple, puck possession wins games. But one thing the Avalanche really do well is they incorporate the slingshot, right? So they'll have that
Mm-hmm.
one guy go in, the other guy's going to follow him, they're going to dish it back to him, and then that guy's going to cut to the net. And that's essentially going to give him a free lane and you just do a quick pass up to that guy. That's
Not only that, if the trailer doesn't take it to the middle himself, there's another guy with him that will. So he'll pass it over to him, and then that guy's got a straight lane up the middle.
and I was gonna say
You
when
can see that was done. That was done plenty of times.
the Avalanche enter the zone, they're usually looking to pull two defenders on one guy. That way, their other guy has nobody on. So I mean,
Exactly.
the Avalanche are just really their play style is just like
Aggressive.
yeah, and I mean
Score
it
goals.
works.
Offense.
I think they probably have one of the best offensive forechecks in hockey. I mean, obviously they didn't win, but that's more on the defensive side. It is what it
And I
is.
mean, they're a great defensive team as well. So as of right now, it's a 3-2 game with them. They're winning. They need this win or else they go home.
Who did the Bruins score that dump and chase on?
The Maple Leafs, game 7
Okay,
to win it.
I gotcha. I was gonna say I thought it was the Avs for some reason. I thought they were done.
No, no, no. They're playing the Stars right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're too busy focused on the PWHL.
Yep. I mean, I was just playing some video games last night. Had it on my other screen, and
Well, get your head out of the gutter and start watching. This is some good playoff
ooh,
hockey. I can't lie.
yeah,
This is one of the better years I've watched. I think last year's was pretty boring.
yeah. I
There's a
don't know
few
why.
boring years for sure.
I don't watch a lot of playoff hockey. And it's kind of surprising, honestly.
This is the
Like I
best
literally
time.
have nothing better to do.
And it's quite literally the best hockey to watch.
Yeah, the best of the best.
Literally, it doesn't get any better.
Right. Well, maybe game 7 of the Stanley Cup final,
Okay, that's
but
still playoff hockey.
that's the playoff. Um,
But yeah, Chris's takes today so far, a lot of that's
extra hot.
stupid. That's
Yeah,
stupid is what I've been saying a lot. And dump and chase is stupid. So
extra
if you're a
hot.
coach and you're watching, I hate the dump and chase and it's stupid. Unless you're going for a
Uh,
line change, but it's stupid.
well, at that point, if you're going for line change, you want to possess the puck behind your net, right, and curl or crash up at the same time.
Probably better than dumping it. Yeah.
Well, because then they get a quick up on you, and you're changing. It's almost a free breakaway.
Stupid hockey. Possess the puck.
Uh, so let me ask you one more thing before we wrap it up here.
We're
Do you
wrapping up
think?
already.
Oh, pal,
How long are we in this thing?
I have no idea.
I feel like it's gone by pretty quick.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think we're that deep.
Get a little time check here then.
Yeah, we're about 25 minutes or so in.
Yeah.
So we can keep going for a little bit.
A little bit longer. This one might take up a couple minutes.
Okay.
Uh, and it's going to be about challenging penalties. So obviously,
Ah,
in the NHL right now, we have challenges for delay of game and high sticking. Make sure it's double minor or intentional. Make sure it didn't hit anything,
right.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on possibly challenging plays for like boarding or interference, checking from behind, head contact, stuff like that?
So I've thought about this before. I probably talked about this before as well. That's really difficult because, like, at that point, it's like you might as well not even have like officials. It just should be robotic. Scans the whole ice, sees everything that goes on every single time. So I think that keeps a little human error in it, which I don't mind. It's like baseball. I mean, I don't mind seeing a strike called on a stupid pitch sometimes here and there. I mean, at the end of the day, that's how the game's been played forever. So I think, you're gonna review if a guy like left his feet on a jump on a hit. I mean, I think they already do that, depending on if an injury's in the play or not. But I don't know. I just don't see it. Like, I
Okay.
understand goals. I
Yeah.
understand, a play leading up to a goal. Fine. If there's a penalty on the play and you didn't catch it, don't retract the goal, but maybe assess the penalty. That would be my take on that. You know, um, but I, every single penalty being challenged, that'd be pretty tough. That'd be tough.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat with you there, honestly. I
We're
mean,
on the same
obviously,
page today.
yeah, for the first time in
Did a full
five
moon today?
episodes. Yeah,
Did a full
must
moon
believe.
today? Holy.
Uh, but I mean, obviously, you're gonna have the offsides review. You're gonna have the
Right.
goal
I mean, that's a game
review.
altering call.
Right. And I do think there are some penalties that you could challenge, like head contact. Obviously, if the guy goes down holding his head, like, okay, he might have got hit in the head, but maybe I was looking at these two guys punching each other in front of the net, and I didn't see that guy over there.
Right.
Um,
So, like, what are
so
you
I
gonna
mean,
do?
if you have the video camera and you see that guy holding his head, okay, maybe there was head contact. I think there should be an autonomous way, like maybe somebody in Canada watching for uh, extracurricular penalties. So maybe head contact, like if you're not sure it's head contact, somebody in the booth would be like, "Oh, that's head contact." Like,
Yeah, so you review the call. You don't necessarily review the no call.
right.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, the no call is definitely part of hockey, right? I mean, sometimes you're
Exactly.
just letting them play a little bit, but at some point,
Right.
there's like an aspect of you got to protect the players, right?
Yeah, there's
So
a fine line there.
if you're going in and okay, maybe this guy cross checks the dude straight across the chest, right? Well, you got to watch to see if it slides up and gets him in the head at all. And if it does, maybe head contact.
What's the
Maybe I
initial
don't
point
know.
of contact?
Ooh, I don't know if that's the rule though.
I mean, you'd have to dig deep and find that out
Yeah.
and come back to me with that. But
Mhm.
as of right now, review the call, but you cannot review a no call. How about that?
Yeah. And I think
I
that's
I,
kind
I
of what the
like that.
IHF did this year. Uh, I think they were able to review calls to increase penalty length, but I don't think that they could like reverse the call.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that. I
Um,
don't mind that at all.
and I mean, obviously, I've said it a couple times. I think this
I
would be
mean,
especially relevant with head contact.
is that going to happen, at the lower levels? No, not at all. It's there will never be enough technology that your basic rink can afford that will allow us non-pros and, just average Joes get that kind of treatment.
Yeah, Live Barn is not covering that one for us.
No way. Watch it in, 480p,
Yeah,
12,
right.
12 frames
Maybe.
a second. You're lucky. Um, a live barn. That's an invention.
Yeah,
That was a great invention.
yeah. I mean, I wonder how that even like became a thing. Like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna
We're gonna
have a
record
constant
every
live
single
stream
hockey rink in the country.
constantly. Like,
Yeah.
imagine the database you need to store all of the games. Like,
I
you're
mean, that's
constantly
gotta be why the
recording for
footage is
years.
so poor quality. I mean, speaking
Yeah,
of which, I mean, those things are so bad sometimes. Like there was a video clip from like a training session we had, and the frames froze weirdly. So it looked like the player was literally skating around himself because this frame froze with him there, and it was still playing as he was skating around, and then it was just a mess. But like 90% of the time, I'd say like you go back and watch and you could barely find like any usable footage from a from a live barn film. Which I'm not hating on live barn. It's a great invention. Um, I found plenty of cool moments on live barn that I wouldn't have had if there was no live barn. But at the
insert
end
the
of the
clip of
day,
Chris smoking Kessel right now.
they're right in the head. Yeah. Like stuff like that, big saves, like goofy plays or, you know, coach takes a spill or something. Like You never know. You wouldn't have those moments to look back on. It's a great way to catch a game if you can't make it in person and it's not streamed on some formal streaming service. But I don't know. Definitely could use some work. I
Yeah,
mean, Ty,
I
you
mean,
being a technology guy, you're probably like, damn, I wish I could get behind that.
right? There's definitely some
4K,
improvements to be made.
4K, 100 and some frames
Gotta,
per second.
I mean, and there's
Sick.
no competition for Live Barn, right? Like, there's nobody
No, it's like a
pushing them to be
monopoly.
better. Exactly. Uh, I mean, there's no competition at all for Live. They're the only one on the market
Dude,
who's
honestly,
recording.
hockey brands don't get much competition. Like,
No,
if you think about it, us starting this podcast, like if you look at it from like a business perspective, it's a dumb investment. It's a dumb idea because the hockey world is so small, let alone virtual hockey community. It's even smaller, you know? Like if you want to talk about something and produce some big market, you're gonna not talk about hockey.
goalie specific, especially.
Right. And then like even think about like Nasher and them starting NHL like hockey video game footage. Like, what is the market for that? I mean,
Well,
obviously it
yeah,
grew over time because his video production was very good, but like, who's watching hockey video games?
right. I mean, unless
Like, it's
you're
such a
looking for like
small little community. Like,
for
there's
sure.
FIFA with massive amounts of players everywhere. Everybody watches FIFA on YouTube, you know? MLB The Show, millions of views on MLB The Show clips, videos, whatever. But NHL is just like it's the smallest like major fan base. It's like not even a top five sport anymore.
No, I
Not
mean,
in the
really,
states
the
at
only
least.
time I'm watching like NHL clips on like TikTok or something, or when it's either a stupid glitch, goofy glitch, or
The game
uh,
breaks.
right, the game breaks, or it's like some really sick like geek play, like oh my god, I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah, and then the likes are like 2,000, 3,000. You
Yeah, and
know,
that's
like
it.
there's nothing. Yeah. I had one more thing to say. It was kind of involving that. I don't know.
Should we start a gaming channel for Chell?
Oh, he'd be demonetized instantly.
Maybe we'll go just video.
Yeah. Might have to with my loudmouth playing
I
Xbox.
can afford to listen to Chris talk.
Interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that'll wrap up today's episode,
I
honestly.
think
I
so
mean,
too. I can't remember my take. It's all right. If it was important, I would have remembered it.
yeah, we'll figure it out next week. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Um, real quick, let's tell the people what we got planned.
Go ahead, Chris. Tell them what we got planned.
All right, all right. I like this. We got some guest appearances planned. We're not really gonna get too deep into that. We'll keep you guys on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Guest appearances. We're gonna try to expand outwards from just hockey, kind of
A
go
little
deeper
less
into
goalie
it.
specific.
Less goalie specific, yes, and then get more hockey general. Um, but yeah, a lot of guests, a lot of people we have in mind. Um, it'll be a different story every time, so that'll be something to tune in for.
Hopefully. Hopefully it's entertaining enough for you to come back each week.
Yeah, that's what we hope for. That's what we're striving for.
I say if you
So
guys have any suggestions for what you want us to talk about, any hot takes, please let us know.
yeah,
Give us
please.
some content.
We'd love to discuss what you guys want to hear about. It doesn't even need to be hockey related. We'll throw in some extra stuff. How about that? That'd keep it a little interesting. We could
Yeah,
throw in a
that's
little
fine.
clickbait with that. How about that?
Ooh. I
But
love
yeah,
the clip.
now I think that'll wrap it up.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to see what these guests bring for us, and yeah, I think it'll be great. Steps in the right direction for sure.
For sure. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.
See you guys.